Time now for Sid 6-0. This is where you had 60 seconds to talk. Start the clock, please. Here's what's on my mind this morning. I don't know how much longer Fred VanVleet is going to be a member of the Toronto Raptors, but before his final day comes with this organization, whenever that is, I would like to make one thing perfectly clear. He's one of the better quotes I've ever heard in this city. Succinct, to the point, honest, one of the smartest guys in the NBA. Case in point, this is how he reacted following Toronto's terrible loss to Golden State Sunday night, 5th loss in a row for the Raptors at the time. Plus, Steph Curry wasn't even dressed for the Warriors. Take a listen.
This is certainly a terrible stretch, and you don't want this, you don't expect this, and you can't accept this. So it's where we are. There's a lot of basketball left to be played, and there's a lot of time to fix it.
Fred has a player option for next season, which means if he wants to leave the Raptors next summer, he can, and probably get a raise as he does so. I hope he doesn't leave, because this city will miss him for a wide variety of reasons. I'm a fan. There, I said it. There are a lot of fans. I'm a fan of Donnovan Bennett of Sportsnet 590 The Fan, Going Deep podcast daily at 11 a.m. on The Fan. Donovan, we'll talk about the Raptors stretch here in a second, but the more you see the Raptors struggle, and they lost their 6th in a row last night, tough loss in Philadelphia, their minds are wandering to what's next with the Raptors. And Fred VanVleet's contract is a legitimate thing. What does the future hold for Fred, do you think?
Well, first off, let's talk about the past in that quote, because he was dropping bars. You don't want this. You don't expect this. You can't accept this. Sounds like our wives talking about marriage with us. So shout out to Fred, who is always a great quote. I think people are getting antsy. And for our hockey fans, I think it's similar to maybe the conversation that Vancouver Canucks fans are having when they're throwing sweaters on the ice, because we're seeing in the NBA and in sport the opposite of what we're seeing in real life, an expansion of the middle class. And so if you are anywhere from 11 to 6 and could play a round or two in the playoffs, but really have no shot at making a championship, ultimately, what are you doing? Are you just spinning your wheels until what? And I think with this team, who at this point would be lucky to be playing in a playing game the way they're playing, the question is, well, who of this core can we build the championship team with? And if not, then what is the point of this 6-9 everywhere project that we're seeing? And so I think this year is research and development, understanding our assets, who can play together and what roles, and then looking to augment those players with high levels. But you mentioned it, Fred VanVleet could opt out and be a free agent. Same is true for OG Anunoby and Gary Trent Jr. We're getting close to February real fast, and there are real decisions on what Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster and Teresa Reese and the entire staff do with this roster. And I think Raptors fans say, you better do something, because this ain't it.
February 9th, by the way, is the trade deadline in the NBA. Donovan, 25 seconds. Should the Raptors strip it to the studs and tank right now, or is it too early for that? Are you team tank or team not tank right now?
It's too early, but we're getting there soon. Before the end of the year, they have Knicks, Cavs, Clippers, Grizzlies, Suns, all top 12 teams in the NBA. That, for me, is the litmus test. If we're still struggling at that point, then I think you get into the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. But if you are able to get back, above water, then I think you ride it out.
Wembanyama is the 18-year-old 7-footer in Europe that everyone's talking about. You're going to hear a lot from him. Donovan